It is almost exactly 10 years since the day that Russian forces entered sovereign territory of Georgia. Ever since then, Russia has continued to build up its military presence in those occupied parts of Georgia. For a decade already, international and humanitarian access to the occupied regions has been blocked by Russian military forces, worsening the humanitarian situation in those parts of the country. For a decade, many Georgians have had to live as exiles in their own country. This situation must change. We urge Russia to respect its obligations under the 2008 ceasefire agreement, in particular to withdraw the military forces from Georgian territory and to allow international access to all occupied regions. We also urge Russia to reverse its decision whereby it recognized the occupied regions as independent states. Estonia, as the rest of the international community, continues to stand by Georgia and Georgian people.
10 years ago, Russia attacked sovereign Georgia and occupied 20% of the territory. It's impossible to treat wounds of war. It's very difficult to recover sovereignty and territorial integrity, but that will come because Georgia is backed and supported by democratic international community. Lithuania stands by Georgia. Lietuva tkvens gverdit ga Sakartvelo.
10 years ago, late President of Poland, Lech Kaczyński, convened 4 leaders of the region to bring them to Tbilisi, threatened by the Russian tanks. He immediately and resolutely objected the violation of sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia. As he said in Tbilisi on the 12th of August 2008, today Georgia, tomorrow Ukraine, and the day after tomorrow the Baltic states, and later maybe the time for my country, Poland. Today Poland continues its support to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia within its internationally recognized borders. We also fully support a pro-European and pro-Atlantic perspective for the Georgian people.
Romania firmly supports the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia within its internationally recognized borders.
Today marks 10 years since the Russian military invasion of Georgia. We remain deeply concerned over the continued occupation of Georgian territories and once again call on Russia to fully implement the EU-mediated ceasefire agreement from the 12th of August 2008. We condemn the gross violations of the freedom of movement and underline the fundamental rights of the internally displaced persons and refugees, including their right to return to their places of origin in safety and dignity.
Throughout 10 years of Russia's continuous aggression and occupation of 2 Georgian regions, Georgia has demonstrated its firm determination towards a peaceful conflict resolution. We have made tremendous efforts, including in the Geneva international discussions, to address the aggravated security and human rights situation of conflict-affected people. The Russian Federation continues the occupation of integral regions of Georgia in violation of international law, the EU-mediated 12 August 2008 ceasefire agreement. The way towards a sustainable peace lies on full implementation of the ceasefire agreement. Withdrawal of Russian forces is crucial for the conflict transformation. Security and human rights situation in the occupied Abkhazia and Skhin Valley regions remains alarming. The new peace initiative, a step to a better future, is a bold step of our government to intensify reconciliation and engagement among the divided people. It is important that we remain united and send a clear message that Russia should stop its aggressive policy, reverse its illegal recognition of the so-called independence of Georgia's Abkhazia and South Ossetia regions, and respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia within its internationally recognized borders. Despite the ongoing occupation, Georgia has proved that it is a stable and democratic country moving forward on its path towards sustainable development, European and Euro-Atlantic aspirations.